Before the sun rises, a man runs as fast as he can to an abandoned cabin. He had to get there before the first light of dawn. Why? Because he made a promise to his deceased friend. A friend who died in this very cabin just a year ago. He had to rush because the last thing he remembered was the look on his friend S face as he was dying. His lifeless eyes, the way his body went limp and the blood that started oozing out of every orifice. He didn't want to remember that, but he knew if he didn't keep his promise, something terrible would happen. As the man neared the cabin, he could feel a dark presence watching him. He could hear his friend's voice echoing through his mind, urging him to hurry up. As he sprinted up the creaky stairs to the porch, he could feel his heart pounding in his chest. When he finally reached the door, he fumbled with the keys in his hand. The old wooden door seemed to be mocking him, taunting him to go away. But he couldn't. Not until he placed the candle down. He walked inside and set the candle down on the old wooden table. It was then that he heard a noise behind him. He turned around slowly to see the stairs moving by themselves. They creaked and groaned as they slowly descended, step by step. He tried to scream, but no sound came out of his mouth. He could only watch in horror as the stairs came closer and closer. Then suddenly, they stopped. And just when he thought it was over, the rocking chair beside the fireplace began to move. It swayed back and forth, faster and faster until it was a blur. The candle on the table flickered, casting grotesque shadows on the walls. He wanted to run, but his legs felt like they were filled with lead. He tried to speak, but his throat was dry and his voice wouldn't come out. All he could do was watch in terror as the shadows on the wall began to take shape. They formed the outline of a man who was burned at the stake. The flames from the fireplace danced and twisted, forming a grotesque grin on the shadowy figure's face. He tried to break the silence, but his voice was hoarse and weak. The air grew colder and he could feel the icy fingers of fear gripping his heart. The shadows loomed closer, their eyes burning into his soul. Then, just when he thought he couldn't take any more, they vanished. The cabin was plunged into darkness. He stumbled back, knocking over the candle. It slid off the table and fell to the floor, extinguishing its flame. In the darkness he could feel their presence all around him, taunting him, mocking him. He ran to the door, flinging it open and stumbling out into the darkness. As the first rays of sunlight touched his skin, he could feel their grip on him weakening. He had made it. He had survived the night. But as he looked back at the cabin, he could have sworn he saw a single candle flickering in the darkness, a candle that shouldn't have been there.